There is a very specific reason why some people don't like to celebrate their birthday. When we're kids, our brain decides what's important based on how strong the emotions are around it. This is called affective tagging. It's like putting a bright emotional sticker on certain memories. If a child's birthday was awkward, boring, or emotionally slightly unpleasant, their brain didn't attach any special tag to the day. It just went into the normal day folder. As they grow up, that lack of emotional tagging adds up and voila, their mind learns birthdays don't really matter. So when they get older, they don't feel much excitement or connection to celebrating. Because you see, in childhood, birthdays act as mirrors for how loved or seen we feel. If those mirrors reflected ambivalence, parents were distracted and our friends half present, the psyche quietly withdrew investment. The adult self inherits that emotional calculus. Why should I repeat what never gave return? Some people feel like they are made of many pieces that keep moving and changing shape. One day they feel gentle, another day bold, another quiet, another curious. Inside them, there isn't one single me that stays the same all the time. It's more like a sky full of stars, and different ones shine on different days. When a birthday comes, the world says, "Let's celebrate you." But they don't always know which you people mean. The one who loves to laugh? The one who gets lost in thoughts? The one who feels everything deeply? All of them exist, yet none of them stays long enough to feel like the main character. The idea of celebrating one fixed person feels strange, like trying to frame a moving river. They don't dislike birthdays, they just experience themselves too fluidly for the usual kind of party to make sense. They feel more real when they're allowed to shift, explore, and grow without being frozen into a single version of themselves. For them, life feels like a painting that's never finished. Every day adds a new color, a new shape. They don't need one day to define who they are. They're always changing, always creating the next version, quietly, beautifully, in their own rhythm. This people's brains and senses work on a much softer settings. They feel things more deeply, but also get overwhelmed more easily. For them, birthdays can feel like too much, too loud, too bright, too forced. Everyone around them is hyped up, shouting, "Happy birthday!" and expecting big smiles, but inside they just feel overstimulated. Their body reacts as if it's under pressure instead of having fun. Because their nervous system picks up on every sound and emotion, what others see as celebration feels like chaos. Weirdly enough, their brain releases stress chemicals instead of happy ones, and this poor fellas feel drained instead of feeling excitement. Nothing is wrong with them at all. It's not that they dislike people or joy, they just need quieter, more genuine moments to feel safe and connected. Their system values subtlety, the warmth of a quiet gesture, the authenticity of one genuine conversation. Large-scale celebration feels performative, emotionally inflated beyond their comfort zone. This sensitivity is often misunderstood as aloofness, but it is actually a form of autonomic intelligence, the body protecting itself from overstimulation. They want connection in smaller doses, with higher honesty and lower volume. As the poet Rainer Maria Rilke wrote, "The quieter we become, the more we hear." For these individuals, birthdays do not need balloons or applause to matter. The true celebration is inward, a moment of reflection, gratitude, or private renewal. For them, age feels like a cultural superstition, a mental costume society insists everyone must wear. "Time is a created thing," Lao Tzu once said. Culturally, such people resist the modern obsession with dramatized emotion. They intuitively sense that meaning does not require spectacle. Their nervous system refuses to convert every feeling into fireworks. In a world that equates joy with noise, they represent the counterpoint. These people have a very high degree of temporal autonomy, the capacity to regulate one's self-concept independently of external time structures. They live by an internal rhythm rather than social expectation. They feel less anxiety about birthdays, deadlines, or where they should be by now. Their milestones are psychological, not chronological. They measure their life in moments of expansion, clarity, or tenderness. The narrative arc no longer conforms to collective age scripts, but instead evolves according to personal meaning. They often appear ageless. Their energy confuses conventional timelines. Someone might describe them as old soul with young spirit. This blend arises from emotional flexibility, the ability to revisit earlier versions of themselves without embarrassment, and to imagine future versions without fear. They remain fluid in identity, untethered from the linear progression that others treat as destiny. Philosophically, this detachment from calendar time often signals what Kierkegaard described as existential freedom, a life lived in the immediacy of choice, rather than in the shadow of measurement. Aging, for them, is deepening of self. The clock ticks, but their attention is elsewhere, in the quality of light, in laughter, in the weight of a thought they finally understand. As Alan Watts wrote, "The meaning of life is just to be alive. It is so plain, so obvious, and so simple. Yet everybody rushes around in a panic as though it were necessary to achieve something beyond themselves." Time fluidists are people who move through life by their own rhythm. The time counting is so much different from the way everyone else does. While most people use birthdays to measure growth, these people feel time more softly, like waves that rise and fall. They see life as a long river, while we see it as a list of dates. When everyone else says, "You're another year older," they just smile, because that they do not feel older or younger. They simply are. In truth, they live outside the world's clock. Birthdays can feel strange to them, like someone trying to measure something that cannot be measured. Each moment carries its own importance, so there is no need for one special day to celebrate life. Every day already holds that meaning. This existential minimalists move through life with a quiet reverence for what already exists. The machinery of birthdays, the songs and the candles, feels to them like layers of noise covering the simple miracle of being. They carry the spirit of Thoreau, who wrote, "Simplify, simplify." For them, meaning grows when excess falls away. Every ritual is weighed against the question, does it deepen life or merely decorate it? The fewer distractions, the clearer the truth becomes. Celebration turns inward, transforming from an event into awareness. In their world, existence itself is ceremony. Lighting a candle is less important than watching the flame. The sweetness of cake cannot compare to the taste of air when the heart feels awake. They live as Camus once described, without appeal, needing nothing beyond the fact that life is here, now, vivid and self-sufficient.